Hello everybody, it's Alex again. I am talking this week about do's and don'ts for people who know someone who's suffering from anxiety. Anxiety disorder, and I have a couple quotes here on my phone that I'm going to read out. These are not my quotes, I do not take ownership of them. But this first one kind of will hit home for anybody that just does suffer from anxiety disorder. And it says anxiety disorder means questioning your self-worth, all your choices, and the purpose of life every single day. And for a lot of people that are watching this video, that's probably going to hit home because it's true. Anxiety just makes you question everything. Any little thing that goes wrong explodes in your head into a million different fragments of what could go wrong from that one thing that went wrong. I know for me personally, I just lost a job a couple weeks ago that I was really looking forward to, is driving a school bus. But because I have an allergy to heat, and that's a real thing, you guys can look it up, it's a real thing. I cannot pronounce the medical term for it. All I know is I'm allergic to heat. And a few medications that I take for it are banned by the Federal Department of Transportation, which cost me the job. So, my mind spiraled that day from, crap, I just lost this job. Now, any job that I'm going to get, they're automatically going to look at my medical history and say, nope, don't want you. Everything, like, I can't even think straight right now, just even trying to think about what I was thinking about, because your mind just goes berserk and you're just thinking about 300 different scenarios and almost none of them are positive. It really hurts. It sucks. It's so frustrating. It's exhausting. I've used this word in my first video. It's debilitating to have these thoughts just race through your head constantly, that you're not worth it, that you're not worthy of having anything good go in your life. There's just a constant struggle between brain and reality, because your brain creates things that aren't realistic for the reality you're actually living in. It creates absolute havoc in your brain, and in your mind and in your thoughts, and it really stinks. It's not anything that's to joke around about. It's not anything to, and I have, like, what doctors describe to me as ADD, but my mind moves too quickly. Like, I cannot focus on one thing at a time. I'm always jumping around, which is why making notes for myself might help, might not, because my mind is always moving 1,000 miles a minute. Definitely something that you should never say to someone who's anxious is just take a deep breath, you're fine. Because saying you're fine when we're having an anxiety attack, when anybody you know is having an anxiety attack, just sounds like you don't care. At least to me. I'm not going to speak for everybody in these videos, but these are things that I feel. This is firsthand accounts of how I feel. And sometimes my friends just say, take a deep breath, you're overreacting, you're doing all this for nothing. That's the exact opposite of how anxiety disorder works. Your mind moves too quickly. Your mind creates different scenarios, so you're not overreacting. You have an illness where your mind just constantly jumps 500 steps ahead of where you actually are, and it stinks. But for someone to say, "Oh, just take a deep breath, you're overreacting," we don't see it that way because we're suffering. We're suffering from something where we don't want to overreact. We do not want to feel this way. Nobody ever wakes up in the morning and goes, I hope I'm so anxious today, because I love that feeling of not being able to think for myself at all, where everything just kind of blows up. Whoops, I whacked my blinds here. It's something that, it's really hard to describe. It's something that is just absolutely frustrating. And anxiety and depression kind of go together most of the time. And there's another one here that this one kind of hits home for me, and most people that are suffering from anxiety and depression will agree to what this statement says. Once again, this is not my quote. I'm not taking responsibility for it, but it is something I found on an anxiety like support Instagram page, and really, really true, and really, really, like, gut-wrenching to even read it out loud. Which says, having anxiety and depression is like being scared and tired at the same time. It's the fear of failure, but no urge to be productive. It's wanting friends, but hating to socialize. It's wanting to be alone, but not wanting to be lonely. It's caring about everything, then caring about nothing. It's feeling everything at once, then feeling paralyzingly numb. And I know I read fast and I talk fast, and I apologize if you didn't get all that, but basically just you are just not you. When anxiety and depression take over your body, it takes over your soul, it takes over your brain, it takes over your heart, it takes over everything. It takes over your extremities, it takes over your level of energy. When you're suffering from anxiety and depression, you have almost a zero chance of having energy to do anything. But you try to put forth all energy to just make it through a day, make it through a week, make it through an hour, make it through a minute, make it through a second. I mean, it's you use every ounce of energy to manage yourself in a way that is not debilitating while something is debilitating. Like your mind just gets taken over, but then you have to try to focus your mind on something, which is why I'm going to kind of leap over here. And there's a very, very important process I learned last year. I had no idea about it. I've been dealing with anxiety for 9 years now. I literally had no clue about this exercise until last summer. And it does help in a moment where you just feel like you have no control over your surroundings and you can't focus your energy on anything. It makes you focus, and it's called grounding. For a lot of people watching this video, you might just say, oh, grounding, I do that all the time. But for those of you who don't know about what grounding is, it's a way to prevent an anxiety attack. When your anxiety is starting to get real bad, when you're starting to lose control, do this exercise. It does work. It makes you focus on things. It just makes you focus your mind on something. And the way to properly do grounding is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. So breathe deeply in through your nose and out through your mouth, and then slowly look around you and find 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, or 2 smells you like, or in 1 emotion you feel. It's called grounding. It can help when you feel like you've gone too far in your head and lost control of all your surroundings, and that is what grounding is for. So, if I was starting to have an anxiety attack right now, I just, look around. Okay, I see wallpaper, banner paper that is way too young for a 26-year-old. Luckily, I don't live in this room anymore. I see the blinds. I see a lamp. I see a bed. I see the table that's underneath my laptop. 4 things you can touch: my laptop, my desk, my table here, my pillows that are, for some reason, sitting on top of the table back here. I'm just doing stuff that I can touch from sitting right here, in the wall. 3 things you can hear. I can hear the AC coming through my vent. I hear a train going through the train station a mile away or so. And I hear the leaves. I hear the wind rustling the leaves. 2 things you can smell. I can smell my body spray. I love the smell of it. It's something I like to smell. 2 smells you like. Yeah. Smell I like is pizza. It gets you to focus on things, and then 1 emotion you feel. Right now I feel anxious. It's ironic, but it's true, because I'm doing these videos completely on a whim, and I'm not doing these with an organized plan of attack yet. It's going to take me a few videos to figure out what exactly I want people to get out of these videos, as well as myself. Because right now I'm just kind of sharing firsthand accounts of what I've had to deal with, and for what other people should and shouldn't do. People should, if you see someone that's suffering from anxiety, if you know someone that's suffering from anxiety, it helps to every day, and I mean every day, reassure that person that you are in their life for the right reasons. Like my best friend Matt. Shout out to you, Matt. Thanks. I have gone to him with anything and everything, from a bad grade in college to the worst horrific experience of an abusive relationship I've ever had to deal with, to suicide attempts that I've had in the past. He knows about everything, and he will constantly reassure me, like, you're 500 days sober. Like when I tell him, man, dude, I'm so anxious right now, I just want to drink, he'll just point out, dude, you've been sober for almost 1.5 years now. Focus on that. Do not focus on the negative. And, for somebody to just bring up a positive in your life when you're having an anxiety attack, it helps, because it makes you focus on something, something you can be proud of. Because in a time where you feel like you're not worth anything, where you're just always nervous or anxious, for someone to bring up something that you're good at, for something that you should be proud of, it does help. It helps a lot. To just say, like, well, dude, if you get anxious again, maybe you're just going to, go crash your car somewhere. That's not going to help. That's not going to help a little bit. Not even a little bit. not even a smidgen, because you're bringing up a negative as a consequence for us being anxious. So bring up a positive. Dude, you've been a year and a half sober. You got yourself out of an abusive relationship. You're making YouTube videos to try to help people that might be in the same situation you have been in or you are in. So a definite do for people that know someone who's suffering from anxiety is when they are super anxious, reassure them of anything positive in their life. If you're their best friend, dude, you're my best friend. You're not going to lose me. I'm here for anything. You can talk to me about anything. Especially if the person that suffers from anxiety, if you ask them, hey, how's it going? Are you doing okay? And they say, I'm fine. I'd say 94% of the time, that's a really random number, but like 94% of the time, someone who suffers from anxiety and depression, when they say I'm fine, they're not actually fine. Because I'm fine is a cop-out for most people to just try to let the other person know, I'm fine, I'm smiling, I'm happy, but deep down you are just a disaster. You're either super anxious, super depressed. I know that I used those two words, oh God, probably 1,000 times, if not more, just so my friends wouldn't worry. But when you say I'm fine over and over and over again, they're going to catch on, they're going to become more worried about you, and they're going to reach out to you more, which is great. You want your friends to reach out to you more, but not for that reason. So confide in someone, your best friend, your mom, your dad, your sisters, your cousin, your second cousin you see 3 times a lifetime. Just confide in someone who you can go to and say, I have this going on and I need someone to know, so someone is aware of what I'm going through. Because to have no one know what you're going through is really difficult, because then your friends and family don't know what is going on. When you have these deep down depression or anxious moments, they won't know how to help you because they don't know what you've gone through, what's been going on. So having even just one friend to say to, hey, dude, I drank a 5th of vodka today and I want to drink more, but I don't think my body can handle it. I might just die tonight. Or to say, hey, I haven't told anybody this, but a year and a half ago, this sexual abuse and physically abusive relationship started. And I went into detail about that with him. And my friend Matt is one person that I know for a 100% fact that he will not leave my life, because he knows the deepest and darkest secrets of my life and hasn't even faltered a little bit. He hasn't said, I'm going to leave you if you don't do this, I'm going to leave you if you don't do that. He said, I'll be with you no matter what, but seek it, just talk. That's like my number one goal in these videos is for people who suffer from anxiety and depression, talk to someone, anyone. If you feel like you have no one to trust, like I said, message me. You can comment in the YouTube comments or Snapchat or whatever. I will talk to you. Not because I want to be your therapist, not because I want to be your dad or anything. Like I genuinely care about people, and for people that feel like they have no one to trust, that they have no one to turn to, no one to, talk to me. That's why I'm making these videos. I want to help, and just watching the videos might help, but also talking to someone. If I can be that person for you, even just short term, just to get you over a hurdle, talk to me. I might not have the best advice in the world, but I will listen, and I will listen intently. This will be something I dive into in another video, but going back to just what I said about the abusive relationship, I had a former friend tell me, and he's former for this exact statement, former friend tell me, if you get raped, it's because you deserved it. It's because you didn't have the power to overcome them, or just because you didn't have the power to overcome them doesn't mean you didn't deserve it. He basically told me that I deserved what I got, and I am. No one who's been abused, physically or sexually, or emotionally, mentally. Nobody. And I'm saying this to every single person that's watching this video that's been through any type of abuse. You didn't deserve it. No matter what you did or said, you did not deserve it. And I will dive into this in a further video because I'm already 15 minutes into do's and don'ts, and I think I've told you about one do and one don't. But this quote that somebody had, once again, not mine, not taking credit for it, it hits home for someone who had someone that they thought was close in their life say, hey dude, if you get raped, it's because you deserved it. And it's I really don't like that guy at all. He's still friends with a couple of my friends, so I've cut them out too. And those friends of mine were really close to me, but for me to tell them, hey, this is what this guy said, and have actual screenshots of what he said to me, and for them to say like, well, he's a different person now, I can't deal with them. I can't. But the quote is, not recognizing abusive behavior as abuse until you're out of that situation is not at all unusual, and does not mean your experiences are less real, less valid, that the abuse didn't happen, or that you deserved it. And I want everybody, I'm going to read it again because I want everybody that's been through any type of abuse to read this out loud. Read this out loud to yourself right now while you're watching the video. Pause the video, read this out loud. Not recognizing abusive behavior as abuse until you're out of that situation is not at all unusual, and does not mean your experiences are less real, less valid, that the abuse didn't happen, or that you deserved it. I want everybody that has ever experienced any type of abuse to read that out loud to themselves. I want you to keep rewatching this part of the video over and over and over again until you get write down all the words. And I'll say it one more time because, God, I just mean this. I'm going to read this in the video that I go into abusive behavior with because it really hits home. Not recognizing abusive behavior as abuse until you're out of that situation is not at all unusual, and does not mean your experiences are less real, less valid, that the abuse didn't happen, or that you deserved it. I'm going to dive into this deeper in a different video, but just people who've been abused, just keep watching these videos because I think the next video I'm going to tackle is people who've been in abusive situations. Sorry. Because abusive relationships are, oh boy, they're not relationships. They're for me, it started as physical abuse. I drank, turned into sexual abuse, and then drinking was all I knew how to cope with what was going on, so I drank a ton and then became a full-blown alcoholic. But I have not had a drink since March 21st of 2017, and I had to stop drinking because I had to stop burying the pain in liquor. If you are burying the pain of anything in alcohol, drugs, just sleeping all day, like anything like that, know that you're not alone, and know that none of these substitutes for having to deal with reality are going to help. What's going to help is confronting your fears head on. It's talking about what happened, it's coping with what happened, it's getting help, it's not drinking or taking drugs anymore. You can tackle it. I am 14 months into tackling my issues, and I have a long ways to go. Because my relationship right now with my boyfriend is kind of on the rocks because I'm getting super paranoid and nervous because just about every relationship I've had since my abusive relationship that ended 4 years ago, every relationship I've been in hasn't lasted longer than 2 months because I sabotage it. I out of nowhere feel this god-awful feeling of I'm not worth it. I don't deserve this. Why do I deserve him? He's so amazing, so why is he with me? I get very... paranoid, and that's because of an abusive relationship I was in over 4 years ago. The pain lingers, the pain's still there, and I don't know what I need to do to get rid of that feeling so I can be happy with him, but hopefully I figure that out soon. I'm going to wrap this video up soon because I know this is another long one, and I'm going to try to keep future videos to less than this long because I know people have to live their lives, but these videos are important, and I want to get all the important points out that I can get in a video. And I just, I just want to spread the word, that you're not alone. These videos are going to be emotional. I will try not to be detailed in abusive relationship like videos because I do not want anybody to get triggered. I do not want to make anybody feel worse than when they started watching the video. But this one more quote I'm going to say because this kind of has to go with anxiety. Staying positive doesn't mean you have to be happy all the time. It means that even on the hard days, you know that there are better ones coming. So when you're going through a day where you're just not yourself, you're super sad, you're super anxious, you're super nervous, you're super out of your mind, just not feeling great. Know that not every day is going to be like that, and that there are going to be better days coming along. I went to Wisconsin with my boyfriend 2 weeks ago, and now I'm anxious as hell today, making this video, going to therapy in an hour with him, because I want my therapist, him and I, to all talk about, what's going on in my head right now. But I've been hiding behind a smile for 6 years. Since the moment I met the asshole of an ex-boyfriend I ever had. He's a poorest excuse of as a human, really, that I've ever met in my life. But 6 years ago to today, I still fake smiles. I still fake happiness. I still try to make people laugh because it makes me happy to hear people laugh. But the laugh that is fake, which is usually my own, I want to be genuine again. I want to be able to get past what happened to me, and I will. I know I will. I'm very well aware of that. I just wish it would, hurry up and get the hell here already, because I would say like 70% of my laughs are like legit, and then 30% are after I've just made a really, really mean joke about myself or about something I've been through. Like, oh yeah, my doctor told me I was fat the other day. Isn't that great? I know that already. Like, those kinds of laughs. It's not healthy. When you laugh and smile through pain that you're hiding, your closest friends and the people that know you really well, even if they don't know what you've been through or what you're going through, will know that that's fake, because they'll know a genuine laugh from a forced one. My best friend has figured out a fake laugh from a genuine one. And so has, my boyfriend Nikki, and, a lot of people that even haven't known me for more than a year or two know when a laugh is real and a laugh is fake. So basically, I think I said at the very beginning of this video, like 10 seconds in, this was going to be a do's and don'ts video. But like I said, I don't have a whole lot of structure to these videos yet. And today I just kind of wanted to talk. I know this video is almost 25 minutes. I said I was going to end it 10 minutes ago, but I'll end it this way. People who deal with anxiety, or people who know people that are dealing with anxiety or depression, know the signs. All right, and here I got my phone out. I'm going to read all the signs that could potentially lead to somebody having anxiety that you could probably notice, or people that don't know that if they have anxiety or not. Think about these things real hard, and think about if this happens to you on a regular basis, because this could mean that you deal with anxiety more than you think. A rapid heartbeat, insomnia, memory issues, overthinking. I am a huge overthinker, so that's perfect for me. Avoidance, sweating, stomach issues, panic attacks, needing reassurance. Another big thing for people that are dealing with anxiety. If you know someone who's struggling with anxiety, or you're dating someone with anxiety issues, reassure them constantly. Because as they're going through an anxiety attack, they are going to constantly want to hear, I'm right here, I'm not going away, I'm here for you. They need the reassurance that you're not going to leave them to suppress their anxiety a little bit. Just hang in there. It'll go away eventually, but it's going to take time. Lack of patience, procrastination, trouble concentrating, constantly worrying, the other thing I do, trouble breathing, and headaches. The overthinking and the constantly worrying are two things that I deal with just about every day. But for people that deal with anxiety and depression every day, it's not easy. It's not fun. But there are ways to cope with it. And talking is a big thing. Like, you need to talk to someone about it. Like, think about somebody who you can really trust with anything and just say, hey, you know what? I'm going through a really difficult time. I'm anxious all the time. I can't get myself out of bed. I just feel depressed all the time. I need to talk to someone. I need to let someone else know what I'm going through. So if I have a really bad day and I post something bad on Facebook or something like that, that person will know, hey, I know what he's going through. I'm going to go message him and really get into, hey, what's going on? What's happening? Talk to me. Because having just that one person to talk to is going to mean the world. Like, it's going to make the biggest difference in the world too. So that's how I'm going to end this video. Try the grounding exercise, reread that abusive behavior quote over and over and over again. And I will post another video a week from today. I'm pretty sure that'll be an abusive behavior one, because as you saw today, I started to really get emotional when I started talking about that. But even if this video doesn't do much for you, it's still firsthand accounts of stuff that I go through every day, that I see people go through every day. And people that I love, people I care about, and the people who love and care about me see me go through this much pain. It's something I want to get out there. It's something that I want to turn into something bigger someday. Right now it's starting at 2 YouTube videos and a YouTube channel. Who knows where it'll go from here, but I want to help people get through everyday life the best they can. But it starts with you. You have to be willing to put forth the effort and change, how you live your life a little bit for the better. So once you're willing to make that change, then you can finally, reach out to anyone that you can really, really trust, and, start to move on, start to get past whatever you're dealing with. So this video is now longer than my intro video, and I apologize for that, but hopefully you got something out of this video. Hopefully you get something out of future videos. And to anybody who subscribed to this channel, thank you, thank you, thank you. Anybody who watched the first video, which I just checked has 76 views, hopefully this one gets more. But spread the word that I'm an everyday person living out of a suburb of Chicago, Illinois, and I will share my stories. I will ask friends if they want to jump on my channel with me and make a video together, that want to share their stories. Let's make a difference for each other. Let's make our lives better and keep smiling on. Hopefully it's a genuine smile. I can always make myself genuinely smile just thinking about happy thoughts, but even just thinking about happy thoughts that make you genuinely smile could help way more than you think. So try to keep smiling on, keep watching my videos. I hope it helps. I hope it does something. And keep smiling on. I think I'm really going to enjoy this experience, and I hope other people do too. I'll see you in a week.